Greetings, salutations. Just real quick for anybody who's watching the video, we primarily speak about the movie, and we do focus a lot on the Demon Train, Infinity Train, whatever we're calling it arc. But we do speak about the manga in its entirety. So if you are an anime only for Kimetsu no Yaiba, who cares about spoilers, you shouldn't be here. And yeah, enjoy the conversation.
A little something like eeny, meeny, right from the beginning. Smoke a little pack, but the pack never timid. Church, but I'm seeing it. Curse when I'm winning. She need a new back. When it's back, I'ma bend it. Slap up some guinea. Ask me to hit it. Watch a nigga black super yak, I'ma quit it. Swerve in the Benzie. Perfume is Fendi. Bobbin' move fast, real fast, like I'm Ricky. Just cause I'm pretty. Came from the dirt. Shoving up a nigga can't handle the work. Ooh, y'all, swing with it first. Young white girl like a...
Me and Pat want to talk about some Yaiba. I watched the movie twice and a half. I saw it yesterday.
Yes,
So,
sir.
just in case anybody you still haven't watched Demon Slayer, yeah, I think you'll like that. I mean, the anime is good. I'll never say shit about the anime. The anime is good. That chicken scratch, we'll see. But I watched the movie. For anyone who doesn't know, PlayStation fucked up. Sony messed up royally and posted it on their store where you can buy it. And if you something for 0.2 seconds, that might as well be an hour in internet time. We got it. Screenshotted everything. It's gone. So you can't run. So yeah. All right, man. You take care. And yeah, I watched it with my friend yesterday. I watched it with another one today. And well, I got through about half of it myself before I had to watch that's I guess that second time with my friend. So I seen it about 2.5 times. I thought the movie was good. I liked the movie. I enjoyed it. Well animated, well voice acted, good emotional impact, all that stuff. I thought the action was good. Didn't change my opinion overall on the arc itself. I have shifted a little bit on some things because there's things I obviously didn't remember. But before I rap, I babble too much. Mr. Pat with a gun to my head.
Well now. Well now. Well now.
Here we go.
It's like I've always said.
Here we go.
These niggas come out the wazoo with all these excuses, insults, slander material. It's carried by the animation. It's mid. It's not that good. But yet, when the movie dropped, the same people that said all these things went to go watch it.
Hey, it cost me any money. So you talk about y'all.
Look, man. I tried telling people the reason this series sells the way it does is because it focuses on family first and foremost, and that is a very big part of Japanese culture. It is a reflection of a time period in Japanese history that was really familiar for them.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, the characters look cool. They're likable. The action is good. It has good emotional moments. Niggas talk about it's carried by the animation. So why the manga selling like hotcakes then? Ain't no animation in manga. These niggas was feeding, trying to get it. Japan over here trying to restock. They going out of stock as soon as they re-up. Like, bro, niggas was stealing. They don't steal in Japan. They was stealing the fucking manga, trying to read that shit. Like, come on, man. Just say that you don't understand why it's so popular. Why you got to resort to saying that it sucks? Clearly, it don't. People watching it, they reading it. So yeah, the movie dropped after a year of people telling me that it sucks, it's mid, whatever, it's carried by this and that. People switch their tune and say, "Oh my gosh, the movie was fire, man. Maybe this series ain't that bad. Hold on, maybe I should get so and so to watch this shit with me."
Nah,
when season 2
what I seen, the one that I thought was funniest is people who walked back their original Rengoku takes. That I seen a lot.
Bro, when I read this shit and niggas read this shit, they said, "Oh my gosh, Rengoku was getting his ass whooped by Akaza. He's not that nice." The movie dropped. All they did was literally animate the panels. They actually added like one
scene.
thing.
One scene, I think. That air type scene.
Literally,
right?
That was it. That was the only thing that they added. Everything else, it was straight 1-to-1 adaptation with animation.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody talking about some Rengoku to go. I mean, I already knew this. He was my favorite Hashira, but just hearing people switch their tune, it's music to my ears. It rejuvenates my soul to see niggas know that they was wrong. I love it.
Oh, this man's winning. We can't let him win. Anyways,
That's how it is.
I will. So I'll speak for myself. He speak about other people. Here's what I'll say. Right. I'm not even hard on Yaiba. I'm really not. I don't think about it, but I'll jab it here and there. I'll make some light fun. I feel the impact and weight of Rengoku's death. I think they did a much better job with it with the movie. I felt it more. I haven't really changed my opinion on his character, but I do think that he was like I do think that he had like a strong, even though it was like minimal, it was strong. I'll walk that back. When you win there, I'll walk that one back. I probably didn't realize how much impact it had on Tanjiro and everyone else moving forward. I didn't realize how much impact it had because
Beating my chest.
I was revisiting a couple of things because I was just kind of like not doing much. Like, you know, I was kind of like at work, just kind of scrolling through some shit. So I had kind of re-seen certain parts and certain arcs, and when I watched like the rematch with Akaza, I was like, oh, he's still talking about Kyoshiro, like, you know, like he's still talking about it. I'm like, okay, so he had like that lasting appeal. So I'll walk that back, and I definitely I didn't think he fared as well as he did really taking it in the manga. I didn't think he fared as well as he did. I think all things considered, he put up a really good fight, and in my opinion, I think he put up a better fight than Mark de Giyu did against him. And Giyu had Tanjiro, who was Hashira level at the time. Plus, he had that the see-through shit. You don't talk about the X-ray vision fucking sense
the transparent
shit.
world.
Yeah. He had that, right? The supreme territory, whatever the fuck he was talking about, or close to that. So, to me, don't get to it. If this was like the middle of the night, that was just a straight up loss. It's obviously the fact that the sun was coming up and he was going to try to kind of keep it in a gridlock until it came up, and he had to remove his own lips to escape, that it was what it was. But that all being said, a marked Demon Slayer, to me, didn't put up as much as a good fight as Rengoku did, and he's apparently not even there yet, you know? I think he would have eventually unlocked it, but he wasn't there yet. How do you feel about that?
See, when Akaza first came to Rengoku, he said it when he saw him. He was like, your fighting spirit is honed almost to the peak. If a few more weeks, months, days, years, he probably would have gotten his mark unlocked. Unfortunately for him, he had to run into Akaza. And it's not till later on, when they was talking about it before the final arc, they said to fight Upper Moons 3 and up, it takes at least 2 Hashiras to take one down. Because the top 3, they've been around for thousands of years, almost as long as Muzan has been alive as a demon. So their blood is more potent. You can see how fast they regenerate, how quick they are to assess somebody's strength, their abilities. Like, it's on a completely different level than the rest of the Upper Moons and Lower Moons and stuff like that. Now, if you want to argue that Giyu is weaker than Rengoku, I might have to agree, because when Rengoku died and the crow was telling the message, you could see from the reaction of the Hashira, they're like, that nigga died? Like, they was completely shook. Like, Uzui was like, bro,
that's what I'm saying.
Even Rengoku couldn't beat one of them niggas? Like, bro, goddamn, they strong as hell. And Giyu also had Tanjiro, like you said, who was right next to him. About that time, he was probably like, I'd say around as strong as Uzui was.
But he was pillar level. That's all I'm saying. He could fight. He's Hashira. Yeah.
Because if I had to rank them, of course, Himejima is at the top. Probably have Tsunemi at number 2. Then you probably have to slide Rengoku at 3, and then you put Giyu at 4.
I don't have Rengoku that high. I have him at 4 or 5.
It's hard because
I think the what's the genius, the 14-year-old, He did
Muichiro?
something. He did something that no one else did. Remember, you're not supposed to be able to be the Upper Moon solo. You gotta put respect on him for that.
It was Upper Moon 5, I think, or was it 4?
I don't know, the pot nigga. He was in the
remember.
pot. I remember him. The weird looking dude who cared about art. I only remember him because I remember there's one part where there was a guy who was making a sword and he was like, "Yo, he won't stop concentrating. You're pissing me off." I started laughing like, "Yo, what? You on time? What's good with this guy?" So I remember that part. I remember I was cracking up when I was reading that. So that's why I remember him. But I remember that he got a little water shit and then he pretty much washed him.
Yeah, Muichiro was nice.
I think he's top 3, 4. I think it's the Rock, obviously your Stone Pillar. What's the name? Sajima, you said?
Himajima.
Yeah, he's the undisputed GOAT. I put the Wind guy second because he fought the first pillar pretty well, even better than Thing did. Even though he hit the Comet's nerves and he's a little bit younger, but still. So I have him second. Plus he has Karechi, so you can't downplay. And all 3 of them did that though. And part of the reason why I always had those 3 at the top, the Snake guy, it's hard to rank because I feel like he did really well against Muzan, but he ain't needing anything else otherwise. So I don't know where you would have him, towards the middle of the pack or not.
He's at the bottom.
Really?
He's at the bottom.
That's interesting to me because at the end of the day, he did the most work against the strongest person. Snake guy, a blind guy.
But I mean,
the Snake guy's not number. The blind guy's number 1 automatically. You can't put anyone above him because the strongest of characters are literally agreeing with what like Tanjiro and Borgang said like way back when. They're like, bro, I haven't seen somebody this refined or as strong like a century or whatever the fuck it was when they seen him. What's up, Mikey? So. He's the strongest. The Snake guy, I actually do think he's in the upper echelon. I do. I have probably around 5 if I think about it. But anyway, so real quick. Because the Rock guy, I remember he beat the fuck out of a demon until the sun came up. The other one got pissed and just started doing shit to it and the sun came up. And then Wind nigga, he legitimately started just finding demons and he's killing them. So those 3 were built different. I'm sorry. They're top 3.
I rank Muichiro a little bit lower because he would have been the best one if he had blossomed because he was only 14.
He's younger than Tanjiro, right? And those guys, right? He's younger than them. Yeah, he was OD.
And he was a descendant of Kokushibo, the Upper Moon 1.
Yeah. So
he had the talent, but it's just he didn't get a chance to reach it.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyways, real quick, back to the movie. I did not remember that Tanjiro, I forgot about that dream sequence thing. I'm like, yo, that was raw. And I forgot how the movie did it in a sick way. I like how they portrayed it. But even you have to admit, I have never talked badly about Tanjiro. I've always said I like.
Listen, you've always respected my son. I appreciate that.
And I always said I especially like him in times of peace or training arcs and stuff. Like how he spoke to Giyu to get him to stop like beating himself up over Thing's death. The ghost that trained him early, like at the beginning and stuff like that. Where I'm like, no, like I've always liked Tanjiro as a character. That moment where he has to keep killing himself, I'm like, I forgot he did that shit. That was raw. I was raw to have to see it. Like to see it. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. Zenitsu your GOAT?
The thing about Tanjiro that made him so special to me was because at first I was like, okay, he's a kind individual, a little bit overbearing, a little bit. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about him. But it got to a point where it was fighting demons, and then it was like the very first time that he had to fight a demon before he met Urokidaki. He hesitated, and then the sun came up, and Urokidaki came. He slapped the shit out of him because he was like, "If you hesitated and the sun was gonna come out, what if he regenerated and killed you?" And he learned from that. He never hesitated again after that. So I was like, okay, he's receptive. He learns. Number 2, he didn't have much talent, but he worked and worked and worked and worked until he was able to somewhat have the water breathing technique down, even though it wasn't suited to his body.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing was he like it's kindness, and then there's like just wow, he is an amazing soul. Like when they were on the train, this is one thing about the movie that I didn't like that they didn't include, because the boy that was supposed to destroy his core, right? He went inside Tanjiro's
he
core.
started
He saw that
tweaking
it was
in the sky, in the calm sky shit, and like how yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
He went inside Tanjiro's inner core, led him to it, and then like he was touched by that kindness. But the narration didn't include the fact that one of those sprites from his core followed the boy back after he had already left the dream, and it warmed up his heart from the inside. And I was like, wow, this is actually really beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that where it's like he's kind, but at the same time he knows that these demons gotta die. Like, yeah, you could talk to the demons, give them peace when they're dying, but it ain't gonna be no, oh, you should stop what you're doing. It's not right. No, demons, they bad. They gotta die first. Then once they're dying, okay, we can talk about what happened.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you go?
I'm still here.
Oh, I thought you.
No, I'm done.
I thought I cut out, but yeah. Hold on. So, Tanjiro's open sheet, little kid Hashira is above the ninja, right there with the water, the little kid. Oh, okay. You talk about the 14-year-old. Remember their names? The Mist Pillar. I know. I got him at 3. No, Tanjiro was all things considered, one thing that I always liked about this series, and I thought it did well, aside from like Times of Peace, I've always said that. I always said like Tanjiro. I've always been a part of Board Gang. But what I always liked about it is I always thought that its progression and the way that it showed like the progress of power and introducing characters at varying strength was done very well. One thing I always appreciated about the moment where he learns the Hinokami Kagura is that he snaps. Him and Nezuko legitimately power up in tandem and they snap and they can't beat the dude because he cut his own head off. And as far as we're concerned, this has been one of the strongest displays we've seen, and Gyu washed this nigga. Like it's nothing. Like you see him
like it was a walk in the park.
Emotionless 11 style lull, and then he blink and then he like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of instances like that I really like, because you're seeing the characters do incredible things and overcome a lot, but I never find it too unbelievable. Tanjiro has some moments where I'm like, this is like, some main character stuff, but most of the time I'm like, no, I like how this is done, because you'll see Inosuke go to work, do his very best, made that spider weird dude evolve to like his whatever form, Gyu come wash him. So it's like, okay, the pillars are washing under moons, the lower moons, but the upper moons you need about 3 to take out 1. Like you see, like you see what I'm saying? Like we took out the strongest lower moon, boom, number 3 comes. Now you're seeing, like I always thought that what's the mangaka's name again?
Gotoge.
Yeah, Gotoge. I always thought that she was really good at that. I always felt that. Like even when I'm seeing a character like snap, like Tanjiro, like I'm snapping right now, I'm using this fire god dance, breathing and everything, and it's like, yo, you could barely beat the girl. The brother is real, like the real deal. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, he always been good at that. Where I always felt like the characters were never doing way more than they can chew, and even when they did, teamwork. It was like a moment where like where like the character did something that the other character truly wasn't expecting. Like with Akaza, he told him, "I'm coming." He said, "I'm gonna cut you." He turned over, couldn't feel his battle spirit, and still got his shit sliced. You know what I'm saying? So. I've always been good at that shit. I've always said that though, because even I've always appreciated in the very last arc how pillars really started to drop. Like people just started to drop like flies. Like I really felt the ramping up. It's just that I felt that when we got to Muzan, it was really really underwhelming. I somewhat take back my opinion of first Upper Moon. It's not as bad as I remembered.
Kokushibo.
Yeah.
I told you.
It's not.
That fight was hard.
It's not as bad. Yeah, well, because you know what, the Wind Pillar and Rock nigga raw. They gangster. They gangster as fuck. The Rock nigga was always my favorite one, but him and the guy with wives, Uzui, I liked him, but I think in hindsight, I'm not a huge fan of him like that, but the Rock dude was always my favorite.
That nigga living right.
Yeah, he like 7 feet. He's fucking brawling. Mugen fight was solid for me, not great but passable. I think what I didn't even I technically still didn't even finish the manga. I might read the last 3 chapters today or 5, whatever it was, but they really started losing me when like Tanjiro was dead, and I'm like, all right, dude. I just checked out mentally, and I hardly came back. But the yeah, you're right though. The fight with the first pillar isn't as bad as I thought. And the flashbacks for the demon for him, I forgot it was it tied back to his brother like that. It was pretty good. It was good. It's a good flashback. But his brother was OD.
He was the GOAT. Nigga was.
He's the strongest character that we saw in the series easily.
Absolutely, he put fear in Muzan's heart for centuries, to the point where if that nigga even saw those earrings again, he was like, "Oh, this nigga right."
No. I'm gonna take it a step further, bro. If he just gives you his DNA, you're not even Muzan. You just have his cells. Remember, nigga, you start hallucinating. You shit, you're not seeing. That man put the fear of God in him. He said, "Bro, I have to conquer the sun. I gotta conquer this shit." Before what did it come? Yeah, so yeah, his brother was fucking OD. But yeah. Okay. Oh, this is what I want to ask you. So in your opinion, right? We'll do this 2-pronged a little bit.
Okay.
Did Rengoku win the fight? Yes or no? First of all, or did he win by his own conditions by not letting anyone die? Like no, where do you stand? Where do you stand with that? Okay, I was wondering because you know how like Tanjiro said, you ran away, you abandoned the fight, the sun was coming, yada yada. You didn't beat him. He never let anyone die. Was his victory? You don't agree with that?
It's one of those things where you don't want him to be seen as the loser, because I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent, but this is part of the reason why Rengoku's death hurt so bad, because for one, he gave Tanjiro a directive when they were on the train. He was like, look, the train right now is a demon. It has a neck. But right now, these people are more important. And I'm trusting you to take out the demon. I know you can do it. Mm-hmm. He gave him that confidence that he needed to get the job done while he protected everybody on the train. Mm-hmm. And number 2, he was a fire user. We've seen Tanjiro use Hino Kami Kagura, which was the dance of the sun god. So it was like, it kind of felt like Rengoku was going to be his new mentor, help him explore the Hino Kami Kagura a little bit in the coming arcs, help him get stronger, because he used fire and Tanjiro kind of used fire. So it was like, oh, this is going to be a dope pairing in the future. Then this nigga Akaza show up. Nigga Akaza tried to kill Tanjiro immediately. Rengoku stopped that shit. Said, this boy right here, he's not weak. Just because he's not there physically yet does not mean he's weak. He has determination. He has resolve. There's different ways of being strong. So he told him, he was like, I'm not going to let anybody die here. And living and dying as a human being is part of the beauty of life. It's what makes you human. There's nothing wrong with that. Being a demon is whack. You won't be able to see the sun come up. You have to live your life so that you have no regrets. The nigga was literally spitting to Akaza before he started fighting him. Now, granted, if another pillar had showed up, the fight probably would have been a lot different than what it did. But he said he wasn't going to let nobody die. He died. So he lost. Like, I'm sorry, bro. That's my
so you're saying like him dying counts if someone died. Okay, I got you.
Yes.
Okay.
Because he said, I'm not letting anybody here die. Like, he protected all the passengers, yes. But in the end, he didn't protect his own life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, fuck. If he had lived, he probably would have been able to beat Akaza the second time.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. So hold on. He said top rank. Okay, Hashira. He said stone, wind, serpent, water, mist, flame, sound, insect, love. I think Shinobu's the weakest. I think you have to put her last because
Yeah, Shinobu had those.
she's literally incapable of decapitating. Not unless she won't do it, she can't do it. So she has to use supplemental. So I know it makes her dangerous
had the
in a different type of way.
Strength.
Yeah, but she literally. I would put I actually would put is it Mitsuri? What's the love pillar's name? What's her name again?
Yeah, Mitsuri. Yeah, putting her last.
I would put her.
Wrong, by the way.
Yeah, because she has like the compressed muscular structure and flexibility and stuff. So
she has insane physical strength.
I would probably put her 7th. I actually would put the sound guy 8th. The sound pillar. I don't think he was impressive, all things considered, and I think he knows that. I think he always wanted to retire, and with his 3 wives, and when that dude was calling him like, "Oh, you're probably blessed with this and that and the third," he's like, he thought about the stone pillar and the mist guy. Like, no, those guys are abnormalities. I'm not that. And like, to me, the reason why he was probably as competent as he was because he was a shinobi before he was a demon slayer. I don't know if you agree with that. You know what?
I definitely agree because he had some.
Go ahead.
He had high physical strength. He had good like deductive reasoning abilities and stuff like that. But his techniques left a little bit to be desired, and he was struggling
I guess
really badly with Upper Moon 6.
And he had a lot of help. He had his wives. He had the I was called the Tanjiro trio. I'm sorry, Borgang and his 2 subordinates, his 3 subordinates. Like, he had a lot of help, and they barely got out of that. And there was hella, you know what I'm saying? So, thank you for the subscription. Oh shoot, Young Abdel, what's going on? We just talked about some Yaiba, the movie. So yeah,
that don't make us like him any less though. He got 3 wives. He raw.
Yo, no, I like him. Yeah, he's still that dude. But like, yeah, at the end of the day, if you're a Hashira, you're still you're one of the strongest. I'm just talking comparatively to the other ones. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But yeah. So I would go Stone, Wind, Mist personally. Then I probably put. I want to put Rengoku, but I was impressed with that snake. I'll tell you. He impressed me in that last fight. I think I have Rengoku 5-4 though. 5-4 interchangeable. I definitely have Shinobu last. I have Uri at 8th. Then I will put Mitsuri. So I have Giyu at 6th then. So that's probably how it
Well, you put Giyu at 6? But hey,
I was not impressed.
Tsunemi kind of viewed him as his rival though.
Yeah, but what did we see though? What did your eyes tell you?
That 11th form? Akaza was like, holy shit, I ain't never seen this before.
And then Tanjiro dodged whatever attack was coming at him, and he got hit with it. His lull couldn't dodge all of it, couldn't protect him from all of it. I think Tanjiro was stronger than him in that moment. Sorry.
No.
No, in the moment when he was channeling the see-through world, he was stronger than Giyu. But he can't maintain it. That moment, he was stronger than him. You don't agree?
Oh, okay. Okay, if you're talking like that, yes. Yeah, I thought you meant like during that fight.
No.
I was about to say.
I like Giyu. He's one of my favorite characters. I'm not trying to downplay him. I just don't. I genuinely was like, did he actually like? I'm like, wait a minute. He talked about, oh, you slapped me so hard, my senses went to the max and beyond. And I'm like, okay, you got the mark and you still losing. He's not like. Remember how when things fighting, he was like, Kojiro, Kojiro, come on, deep, yo, he's like, oh, you're wrong. Let's be deep into the scrap. Like, he was not giving Giyu that respect, son. He definitely was not as impressed fighting Giyu than he was fighting Rengoku. I'm sorry, I don't think Giyu was as its upper echelon thing. But I do think that his own mentality held him back because he always felt inferior. I think that was his own issue, but how you get the power up and and as far as I'm concerned, you're not showing it as wow. impressive display as Rengoku did. Again, I know Rengoku had the sunrise on his side to help him out, but still, bro, you have to consider that he went through whatever, mental or emotional turmoil he had to go through the dream sequence, right? Then he defended 5 carts and 200 passengers before he even. So usually hella breaths and all that stuff before he even had to fight that dude. I don't know, man. More impressed with Rengoku in hindsight.
Hey, you think Rengoku was stronger? That's not gonna bother me. That's my goal.
He's dope. While he's alive, yes.
That's my goal.
3 wives. That's future me for real. Hey, that's all to work for me. That's one. Usui, Zen, and Tapioca. Those everyone else built like Gaimon. Nigga in a box. My favorite characters were who? If you asked me originally, I probably would say like Shinobu, Gi, whatever. Now it's Rock Nigga. Sorry, say his name again. I think it's his name. The Rock.
Himejima, bro.
Himejima. He raw. Not gonna hold you. I did not like the Wind Pillar at all until his fight against the number 1 upper moon.
At first I was like, bro, why you such a dickhead? I was so confused.
Yeah. But that moment when he was like, God, please don't take my brother. I felt that. I felt so bad for him. And honestly, I took back everything. I'm like, damn, I feel bad for him. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That shit hurt.
That hurt it. I said that though. I said it hurt it.
Series, bro. It always cuts me deep every time. I'll be like, damn, I just want to see some happy stuff.
Mm-hmm. They said Wind Hashira younger brother is Garbo. I like Genzo. What's his name? Genzo? What was his name again? Genji?
Genya.
Yeah, it's against something. Did y'all talk about Rengoku yet? I mean, yeah. I mean, like, we can do it again if you want. We need it, Joni. We can do it again for you. But we spoke about it already. But
I always talk about my goat.
But yeah, my one friend wasn't too impressed with him, but I had to show him like all the things that Rengoku really did, because like I had to show him a couple of manga panels, because I remember them not showing certain stuff, because I was like, wait a minute. He's like, bro, how's the girl not dead yet? I'm like, he's not. I'm like, I know they didn't say anything, but he's subconsciously not going to kill her because she's human. Most of them are like that. They literally defend people. They don't kill people.
The movie left out a lot of narration.
Yeah. Because I remember when she's gonna break his spiritual core, he instinctively chokes her, but he just stays in the gridlock where she can't hurt him, but he won't kill her until he woke up. By the way, do you know how they woke up? How did they wake up? I know. I think the only people that I understand how they actually woke up was Tanjiro and Morgang. Morgang, his subconscious was in his whatever area. And I just think that he was too stupid for the technique to work that long on him. He was too dense for it to work, and he had the explosive awakening. I don't know how the rest of them woke up. They probably might have did what they had to do, but I didn't see it, so just wondering. Go ahead though.
So when Nezuko severed the bonds between them, it allowed their subconscious to get back on track. So, like you said with Inosuke, he don't have much of a brain to begin with, so he was gonna wake up eventually. Zenitsu didn't wake up at all because
you're right.
He literally uses his technique when he's sleeping.
You're right. That's fair. He did say this guy didn't even break it. You're right. You're right. I guess Rengoku,
that's why it took
probably
Rengoku.
Figured it out, I guess.
Yeah, he was the last one to wake up.
But he was still the first to defend himself technically. But seeing Tanjiro have to figure that out like through the movie was nice, because like I probably didn't absorb it the same way reading it. But I'm like, he's like, all right, that's cool, let's go. And he looks to his back and he's like, wait, I'm carrying wood. Fuck am I talking about? I'm like, shit. Slowly but surely. I don't know if I could have ever figured out to kill myself though. That's crazy though.
That nigga was in his dream. He talking to his little brothers and sisters. He was like, "Where Nezuko at?" It was like she wants to go to the mountains. He was like, "In broad daylight."
To like,
and they were like, "Is she not supposed to?"
You're like, what the fuck am I talking about? Kano Suyuri might be my fave. Oh, she's dope. That's the sister of Kocho and the other one, Sanae, right? Yeah, she's dope. I actually think might be a hot take, think that she impressed me more than the other three. And I love Inosuke, but I felt like he was supporting that fight and she was the lead. Granted, she had the information because she knew, because this guy killed both of her sisters technically, so she knew more going into it. But I was very impressed with what she did. But even as a regular demon slayer, whatever you want to call them, she was the one that helped train them to get to the next level. She was stronger than them, so she's always been very impressive to me. Ultimately, I actually
was pillar level.
Yeah. She was mad strong. That was wild when Tanjiro almost killed himself in real life, getting carried away. Oh yeah, I was that, which was strange to me, cause like I'm is it called lucid dreamer? I'm able, like, it's when my dreams are wacky, I could tell it's a dream. I've been able to do that since I was like maybe 17ish. So like if something supernatural happens, I immediately know it's a dream. I can't always control myself, but I can't always control everything else around me after the fact, but I can usually control my own actions once I know that. But I don't know. I guess the guy just tricked him into like doing enough times that he probably just was almost gonna do it in real life. Because I was like, you're on the train now. Like, you're not even in like the nightmare world that he's trying to show you where your family's berating you. But
yeah, see, the problem was when Tanjiro fights, he does a lot of inner dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So when he fell asleep the first time, he was like, I have to wake up immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So he was talking to himself. He was like, all right, in order to wake yourself up, you have to cut your own neck. And then when he woke back up, the eyes were right in front of him again. So it was like, fuck, I need to wake up with my eyes closed.
Oh,
so that when he woke up with his eyes closed, he thought he was still dreaming.
Okay. Yeah, look at you. Pay attention. There you go. That was why when Kano killed himself. Kano definitely better than Zenitsu and Inosuke. See, Zenitsu, it's hard to say.
I wouldn't say Zenitsu.
Because Zenitsu
Inosuke, yes.
Straight up a beat. I know he was a new and he was the bottom, but he straight up beat that guy. And I don't know if you agree with this, but I think Zenitsu could have beaten him almost off the rip, but he had to kind of seal himself to be like, no, he's gone, he's really lost, master, grandpa type beat. I gotta put him down. I feel like he wasn't, as much as he came ready for the smoke, I felt like he still had to kind of build the resolve slowly to actually kill him. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yo,
I think he could have watched him with that 7th
last
form.
arc. Them shits was hard, bro. Setups for those last fights was hard.
He got the best 1v1 as far as I'm concerned, or at least
Definitely.
1v1 victory. 1v1 victory. I'll put it that way.
It probably, I will say that the setup wasn't the greatest because we didn't know who he was up until the fight started. If we had known the context going into the fight, it probably would have hit a lot harder. But I agree with you, actually. Like, he probably could have washed him immediately.
Let me push back on that for one reason alone. I think it was enough to see how emotionally charged Zenitsu was, of all people. Fighting consciously. Talking shit. Shit talking. Yo, he's talking smack. He's not playing.
When
like,
his eyes were open,
yes,
that shit hit different.
That's what, so while I actually hear you and I agree with that, but I felt like seeing him was enough, because I'm like, wait a minute, he awake, he talking shit, he talk about too slow. I'm like, who is this? Who the fuck is this nigga? So you gotta put respect. It's something special. That moment. Zodiac, 6 months, my guy. I appreciate it. I gotta change these badges sooner or later. I gotta get I know you could change your badges for like subbing longer and shit. I'm just a fraud at what I do, but thank you, I appreciate it. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, shit was. Oh yeah, Zenitsu. Yeah, I actually think
Zenitsu, yeah.
I would put him under Tanjiro. And I would put Kanae, but I think you could kind of debate it, because if you want to go under the rhetoric that like, oh, if he had more time to develop his demon blood arts or whatever, he would have been more formidable. My pushback is, did you think Zenitsu was just not gonna get stronger in a year? Because remember that one guy was like, you're lucky he's new. And it's like, bro, he would have gotten stronger too. and he
Damn, bro, hey, fuck
wanted
that
smoke with this guy specifically. So as far as I'm concerned, Zenitsu was always well equipped to beat that guy specifically. So
That nigga was always trash because he couldn't do the first form, and the first form was literally the most potent one of the lightning breathing style.
yeah,
The rest of them was just like support attacks. Zenitsu was able to do the first one, and he fucking mastered it. He was able to ramp it up to 6-fold.
and Godspeed.
Yep.
So yeah, so I think, but the kind of respect, I like to see that because I do think that she's dope, and I don't really see people talk about her too much. So she was
Yo,
cool.
they Kanao and Shinobu was talking fucking spicy to Upper Moon too.
Yeah,
Doma, they was talking shit to that man.
I don't
When he
even.
finally died, he
Yeah.
was like, "Is this what death is like?" And she was like, "Go to hell, shithead."
You're like, you're pretty. I like you, and he's just talking smack, and she was just like, you don't feel nothing. I did call you smart, but you're not even smart. Shouldn't you just die? I'm like, yo, that's so hard. They're the ones. I don't know how you. I never really liked the Inosuke part though of that fight. I still don't like it.
The flashback.
I have no problem that he's met the mom because I just felt it was just like, to me, it felt like a forced connection. I don't know if you felt the same way. I always felt that tying his mom into this fight with Doma was forced. I get it because he thought Shinobu was the one who sang him the lullaby, and she who has beef with him, so it kind of all comes full circle. But I felt like his insertion was not necessary there. I didn't like it. I didn't need it for him.
I can see where you're coming from.
Morgang out, man. We're raised by the wild, baby.
I see where you're coming from because the connection between Kanao and, I mean, not Kanao, between Shinobu and Inosuke was there from the beginning because, like, that was literally the only person he would listen to. So it makes sense that Gotoge would try to, like, warp the two of them together to this one Upper Moon. And it gave it a little bit of, like, an emotional weight to it when he came to the fight and he was like, Shinobu dead? I'm gonna fucking kill this bastard. But I definitely understand the complaints because it felt like he didn't get a chance to showcase what he had learned up until that last fight like Zenitsu and Tanjiro did.
Yeah. And I felt like it's cool that he got to have that kind of little connection with his mom or whatever and everything, but I just felt like he was one of those characters who never really needed a moment like that based on who he was and how he lived. But I just felt like, oh, so he's also now he has some like forced beef with like this Doma guy. I don't know. I didn't like it. I never liked that part, but the fact that he got his 1v1 against the Upper Moon made me sad. I was one or to do more maybe also made me sad, but I also kind of think it's a little bit brilliant because I think we expect that. And the one we didn't expect was Zenitsu. Like, of all people who got to watch Upper Moon, it was Zenitsu. I think that was part of the surprise. So, and the fact that, like, Morgang had to actually be part of, like, a support role more so than him getting his 1v1 despite the character is, I think that was intentional. But, yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. But, do we know if they're not doing another movie for the next arc, right? Do we know if we're going back to anime,
No,
or we have no news of anything yet?
Yeah, and we're going back to anime. Season 2 is supposed to drop later this year. We don't have a date yet.
Okay.
But it's going to be the entire Red Light District arc.
Okay, I like that arc. That's probably my favorite arc, so we'll see where that pins. All things considered, though, I think making this a movie was smart. I think, like, let's say the rest of the Yaiba movie is the Yaiba animation are all like anime instead of their movies. I think giving Rengoku a movie because of like how shorter his role is, but you kind of giving him that emphasis and that moment to shine will kind of elevate how important he is in the minds of the anime watchers. Because I felt that it was very easy as a manga reader to not care about him.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I was fucking crying when I was reading that shit.
I did it.
I had tears for the manga and the anime. That shit hit me like a bus.
They said red light. This should go break the internet. I'll say this: him in that moment where his mom was like, whatever. That was touching. That was touching. That was touching.
Nigga.
That being said, I still hold that most of those demon backstories, when they were dying, did not hit, or I didn't care enough. With the exception
I
of
mean, that's fair.
the first pillar, not because of him, because his brother was just raw, and I want to know more about him. And then Akaza. Akaza's one was dope, and I think we both think he's the best antagonist, right? Yes, no?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, okay. It's like he was always great.
But see, it's what I'm saying is like the series itself is a representation of the struggle of maintaining your humanity. That's what these backstories are for. So it's to tell you like demons don't just pop out the ground from nowhere.
They're taking advantage
These
of
people, yeah, they were people at one point in their lives. They either had a shitty life or they had a bad encounter or something went wrong, and then they come across Muzan and they become demons. So it's nice to see when Tanjiro acknowledges this, because at that first time when Giyu was there, he was like, "Bro, don't pity a fucking demon." And then Tanjiro was like, "Look, I understand we have to kill demons, but at one point, these demons were people. You still have to have compassion for the souls of people, or else everybody is going to be a demon." That's how they got into the situation in the first place. And I feel like because that theme is so prevalent in the series, that's why Zenitsu's fight hit so fucking hard, because they were both from the same teacher and they were supposed to be raised as brothers while they were learning the lightning style, and one of them gave in to his fucking weakness, which, by the way, tied back into Himejima's backstory, because he was the one who snitched on him when he fucking protected him from the demon and said that they were scared of him, that he attacked them or whatever, and had him thrown in jail all those years. So you seen that this was his personality from day one, and when he was offered a moment of weakness, he took that shit and became a demon.
Yeah, you're right. That is a common thing. Like, it's almost like the fight to keep your humanity, or being willing to throw it away in the pursuit of something greater, and then losing sight of that very thing. Because Kaza's strength was to protect and save his dad, and he met the dojo dude who he fell in love with his daughter, and then they poisoned the shit, and then I remember all that, right? So, and then he just kind of he kind of lost it. But the backstory for Rengoku was good, because I forgot about his dad. I completely forgot about his dad and his brother. I completely forgot about it. I forgot that family is usually the Flame Pillar family. So, and his dad actually kind of somewhat got back into the fray of things after, because doesn't he help defend the what's his name son after he passes away? The dude who went like crazy, not crazy, he went blind and shit, and his son was like the successor in the last arc. The shit on his head. I think him and Uzui
Uyashiki.
They were outside the dojo or whatever temple and like guarding it. So you kind of get into the fray.
Yeah, he was a former Hashira, so he was kind of raw. But
yeah,
after fighting demons for so many years, that nigga lost his edge. He was like, "Man, fuck this." Like, I don't blame him, bro. There was so many fucking demons.
Yeah, he's probably fed up. But all right,
seeing all his friends die and shit. I mean, yeah, that'll fuck me up too.
All right, now, because I don't think I've gotten a chance to speak about the end of the series too much. How does it end?
Okay, so you said the last thing you saw was Tanjiro died, right?
No. I remember when Muzan was getting all the shit that she put in him was making him age and slow down, and he had become the Demon King at one point because he poured the blood into him, and Nezuko comes. Like, I vaguely remember all that, but I was like in that final stretch. Actually, I saw him go down. Like, I saw Muzan lose technically. I just didn't read a single thing after that.
Okay.
So like the little like epilogue or like afterwards, I didn't see any of it.
Okay, so you saw the end, but you didn't see the post
Yeah,
ending.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what you're telling me.
Yeah, so go ahead and tell me.
So
I'll read it. I'll read it. I'll read it later though. I'll read it. I'll just finish it.
it was a nice. The final chapter was pretty good. So basically, what happens was Tanjiro, escapes Zenitsu, Nezuko, Canal as well. They go back to Tanjiro's house. They pray at their family grave and stuff like that. Then eventually they like recuperate for a little while because after every major conflict they always had to recuperate. This one was no different.
Hmm.
Eventually Kanao and Tanjiro get married. Zenitsu and Nezuko get married, and they flash forward into the future a little bit. Oh, I said a little bit, a lot of it, basically to a modern era. We see their descendants and like reincarnations of the pillars and stuff,
Hmm.
living in present day Japan, having normal lives, and saying at the end, this was what Tanjiro and the rest of the Hashiras fought for, a world without demons and stuff like that. So it was pretty nice.
Hmm. I guess they said all the Hashira die except the ninja. Didn't Gyu live? Did I see? I don't
No,
remember.
Giyu lived. Giyu and Tsunemi lived.
I was gonna say I remember a couple of them living. I remember being like, well, Gyu one left lived. I guess I would because at the time he's probably my favorite character. So only rock nigga made it to the end. The goat. He's the goat. I like the way he was talking to the first nigga. He's like, wait a minute, wasn't there somebody who lived past 25 and pissed him off? Oh, bitch ass. I have no respect for that nigga. The first pillar, he's easily the one I think is the most pathetic. But he knows that, and he went out that way, like which I appreciate. He knows that. Nigga is just jealous of his fucking brother. What a loser. I have no respect for him. Talking about, I'll just refine my sword, my skills. And you still got washed when that nigga was 80? He could have put you down in one hit. He didn't want to kill you because you were his brother. He held back. I'm convinced. He could have sliced through
Nah,
his neck easily.
that was literally
If
it,
you
bro.
watched Muzan like that in the hit, you could have killed your fucking brother in one hit. I'm not trying to hear it. He didn't want to do
That
it.
nigga pulled up to his brother and he was crying because he was like, "Damn,
Hmm.
not my brother, man. Like,
Yeah.
not my brother."
Yeah. I like this, he said. But yeah, he was pathetic. I didn't like the second Upper Moon. I think he was sinister and evil and stuff. I just didn't. I never gravitated towards him like that.
Nah, see, he was an exceptional case because he was just one of those that was a piece of shit as a demon and
And
as a
human,
person.
because
Yes.
I remember
So when he
laughing.
became a demon, nothing changed.
Yeah, I remember really like laughing at one point when he's like his mother like stabbed his dad violently, and he's like, "Look at all this fucking blood." I'm like, "Dog, that's what he's worried about." Like, bro, it's a fucking mess in here. I started laughing. I'm like, bro, this kid is seeing dead bodies and his mom having a damn near mental breakdown, killing his. What is his thought? There's just blood on my carpet, dog. Yeah, he was the last cause. 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 Getting washed by nigga never tired. Yeah, that guy was lost from the get go. But end of the day, it was a good movie. I mean, I'm not a full stan to the degree that most people are. I'm not as. I don't hate them the way Simi does, but I'm not. I'm like, well, not he hates them, but he's not like a big fan. But like, I'm somewhere in the middle. I think they do good. I think there's good and there's bad. There's some things I like about UFO table. My friend says it, UFO table. But no, it was good. I actually would argue with this movie. I don't think it did the thing where I felt like the movie went up in quality to a crazy degree, where I felt like it had the Stampede, the One Piece Stampede kind of thing. Where,
Yeah,
like,
this
where
wasn't visually. The movie wasn't nothing crazy that I hadn't seen during the anime first season.
yeah,
It was pretty much on par with it.
it was just it was just staying consistent for 2 hours,
Hmm.
like at that high quality, like no dips in quality. It stayed at this peak, you know. Cause like I said, like remember I said Stampede is like usually with the anime movie, it always looks better than the anime. Where to me, I felt like this was the anime staying at its highest quality of animation for a 2 hour running time. It didn't take it to the next level that I would say like the Heaven's Fields movies for like Fate Stay did for Fate Stay Night, something like that. Where I think that looks better than the anime. Like clearly they
those
sacrifice
movies, they're phenomenal.
sacrifice some people and use some blood demon, some demon art for that. Oh, I never asked this. What's your general thoughts on Nezuko as a character? And then we can kind of wrap it up. I don't know if we ever spoke about that because I find myself caring about Nezuko, but never being that interested in Nezuko as a character. But also acknowledging how fucking useful Nezuko is with her burning blood and shit. Like, she's mad useful. I wanted the best for her. Wanted her to be good, but I can't say I ever took a major like emotional, liking to her character in that sense.
See, Nezuko's like one of those characters where when I'm reading the series, I'm like, okay, she cute, she cool, I like her. But I don't know how much I like her until she's in danger. And then I'm like, oh, shit. And I think it's more to do with the fact that I'm more concerned with how this is going to affect Tanjiro, as fucked up as that sounds, than how it's going to affect Nezuko. Because she was a demon for the majority of the series. Mm-hmm. So, like, when she'd get cut up and stuff like that, I'd be like, oh, she'll just grow that limb back. She'll be fine. But it's at the point where, like, oh, she's actually about to die. Like, the end of the Swordsmith Village arc, when Nezuko was outside and the sun was coming up, I was like, yo! Like, what's going on? And then she conquered the sun. I was like, wait, what?
She said, like, good morning or some shit, right? Or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember. That was dope. That was probably one. I was like, oh, shit, let's go. I remember that. Yeah, again, she's cool. I never disliked her. Never disliked her. I just never, I never took a liking to her to that degree either. That'll be. I actually had to. I couldn't. I wanted to do it just as a joke, but I couldn't do this. So it was a little bit of a funny story. My friend was going crazy with the fight when Akaza and Rengoku were fighting. And I almost said, none of this shit is happening. Like, the fire not. I couldn't do it though. You was having too much fun. I couldn't spoil it for him. Like, honestly, I hope he never finds out, because he be snapping when he see the water and the dragon and this and that, and he be going crazy. I'm like, I kind of want to burst his bubble, but look how happy he is. Let me not. Imagination no Yaiba type beat. Let me not do that to him.
But I mean, that kind of stuff never bothered me. I don't know why it bothered so many people, because it's like, it's just a visual representation of their sword skills. Like, don't you always say, show me, don't tell me? That's what she doing.
No.
She's showing
don't
you
do
the
that.
representation of things.
I'm trying to see some supernatural shit. Shut the fuck up. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. This ain't pretend tennis where you just invade. You just invade like fire. Like, no, don't do that. What? At the end of the day, the way the anime portrays it, that shit is fire though. Like, you can't get mad at it. It looks good. It looks really good. I like with like the little like lights, like whatever. But, nah, it's funny because again, I told you I had a feeling, but when she confirmed, I'm like, no, don't do that. It was like, no. No, it really isn't a big deal in hindsight. It's just funny to me now at this point because I could make the joke, but I was like, listen,
I think that was.
Right.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm Canadian, so
I was just gonna say, I think that's one of the reasons why people flipped on the series as much as they did when they found that out. And I was like, bro, she said this like 3 volumes in that it's not real, and then y'all just now found out because somebody asked her again.
I'm with you, Mikey.
So, like,
in my head canon, that shit real, son. So I'm like, bro, he blocking that shit with a fire. I don't give a fuck what no one told me. He even if it has to be like he's not actually like just like actually creating fire, but the friction of the sword is so fast, Type beat, like I'll take that. I'll take that. So it's real to me too. I feel it. But it was a good movie. It was really good. I liked it through. The action was really good. Oh, real quick, because my friend asked me this, but I didn't know what to tell him. Cause I'm like, honestly, I'm not a Yaiba expert, and as much as Inosuke is my favorite character, In the series, I forgot he was my favorite character somehow. I kept saying it was the Stone Pillar. He's second. I'm sorry, but what the fuck? Morgang has always been number one. Fuck, am I talking about? But yeah, I'm like, I don't actually think he's as strong as like I would want him to be or thought he was gonna be. Because one thing I thought was super impressive is that if you create your own style, I think that's impressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
The sun breathing was my thing. I can't remember who else invented their complete own style, but I was like, bro, this dude just invented an entire breath style. I think it was derivative of the wind or close to the wind, but they could just create an entire like 10 form fighting style by himself. Like that to me was impressive, and I felt like that payoff for that never came full circle to that degree. There's moments, obviously, because his natural instincts to avoid the gaze and stuff like that. You see it, you know, like even when he's fighting Doma, he could just sense the chill a little bit, and he's not getting his lungs frozen. Like, don't worry, like it's there. I'm not gonna say she didn't portray it, but I always felt like the fact that he created an entire Fang beast style by himself was impressive, and it never kind of like manifested. That's just me being a butthurt Inosuke fan. Don't take that too seriously. It's a nitpick.
Nah, you're right, because the only other people that created their styles were Yoriichi and Kokushibo. They literally created Sun and Moon. And everything else, literally everything else, is a derivative of that.
Yeah. Or taught to them by Yoichi, because he was like, people couldn't do the sun, so he taught them like wind, stone, and then that's how that got passed on, water. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. You have any final words for the people? Thank you guys for kicking with us for like an hour and some change.
Just fucking Hashira ranking, so...
Ooh.
Number 1, Himejima. Number 2, Sanemi. Number 3, Rengoku-san. Number 4, Giyu. Number 5, Muichiro. Number 6, Mitsuri. Number 7. This is where it gets kind of hard. I guess I'd say Uzui.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 8, Iguro. Number 9, Shinobu.
Okay. Yeah, I think you know. What's your favorite style? Like style, by the way.
I mean, you already know.
Oh, okay, that's fair. All things
Rengoku Fire Goat.
Mine is actually visually, it's the moon one. I like the crescents and the slashes.
Ooh, yes. I can't wait to see that animated. It's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, all things considered, like I have no respect for that nigga, but all things considered, the moon shit looks good. But that
nigga, when he pulled out that long ass blade and that double spread, oh my god, that shit was so raw.
Oh yes. And no, that's probably my answer. It's probably moon. I like the water is my element, so I always like water. So water probably right after that, or tied for it. But then I'll probably say the fire, the sun shit, or fire god dance, whatever. Kagura. Because the moon and sun are obviously the best two, and then I guess the original, derivatives of the sun. Then it's all the other ones. Because I don't know if we could really rank them, because I think it's based more so on utility and how you apply it. But obviously the sun is the best one because it helps you not regenerate and shit. But hey, good movie. We'll see how they handle the Red Light District and my guy with 3 wives. He got them hoes, baby.
Just we go.
Yeah, I like him. I like his personality. Flamboyant.